Okay, recording has started.
Woo! What an
Yay!
interruption.
Hello, everyone.
We're back.
Welcome back to D&D in the past.
We
Post
My
session.
ISP has decided that
It doesn't
I'm
want to be
only
an
allowed to
ISP.
get 10% of my upload speed today, so we're recording this for you guys.
Because
And
we love our
yeah.
viewers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, anyone who's following the story would just really hate to miss out on the part where we meet a dragon. Wormling,
Absolutely.
whatever. Which,
Yep.
speaking of, he is so out of place.
He
Please
is.
tell me
Yeah.
someone can...
Hello?
On again.
no,
Hey.
there we are.
This is just the most ridiculous thing.
Yes, it is.
Can you still hear us?
Maybe it's stabilized?
No.
There we are.
Are you guys back?
Hopefully. Or I'm about
Justin,
to...
I can see you kind of like freezing yourself.
I can see
You
you.
can't.
Yes, I
Silence. Here you are.
can. Don't have video for Izzy at the moment.
It's loading. It's back on my end. It's just taking its own sweet time.
Oh,
I see it.
it was actually back on the stream monitor before it was back on my laptop. Cool. Well, we are still recording. This has been real fun.
This has been
Yeah.
The universe is just giving us the bird.
You wish
I
to
think
have
that's really
fun on your
Comcast.
Friday night? Not today.
Right?
Not today, Satan. We're having this regardless. Not today, Satan. I say as I'm eating a marshmallow Reese's cup.
In
nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.
Whack.
I remember that.
Yes, especially
Somebody
the
got
whack.
it. Thank you. Okay, so we G to G.
Yeah, I just ran another speed test. I was hoping to see it maybe be higher. It spiked to 15 for half a second, and now it's just hanging out at 3.
Are you
I
guys
think
actually
we're
back
just-
now?
We're still, yeah, we seem to be back well enough, I think. Not
Let's
certainly
continue.
enough for streaming, but we can continue recording.
Yay! Continue recording.
Oh,
What?
you can get behind. You can take your hand off, buddy. I can see your mouth moving.
What? Oh, you
I
thought I
thought
was
you
still
were trying
doing that
to.
thing?
I thought you were trying to act like you were still freeze framed.
No, I was just.
We were plotting
You
this whole thing.
flustered him.
Came back to stream. We were all gonna be like,
Yeah, I noticed when it like refreshed for a moment that it was very obvious you guys were acting frozen as well. So I actually commented on it, but by the time I actually got to comment on it, the connection had dropped again. Which
uh-huh.
is like, yay.
Okay, so we're back in Shimmerberry. You are face to face with this brass wormling.
And I was giving some information on dragons because apparently I'm quite
Correct.
knowledgeable on dragons.
Yes.
So this poor little one here has been sent, one, to do a grown dragon's job. The job of probably several grown dragons at this point, given Shimmerberry. 2, it's against his nature, or he'd have been doing this readily. If he were
Enough, it's against his nature. He says he doesn't want to do it.
precisely, and
Let's
it's
not
just
talk
not in a
about him like
metallic
He is
dragons,
standing
brass,
right in front
copper,
of us,
silver,
guys.
gold, do not do this kind of thing. So I don't know what they stand to get from corrupting this poor baby, but he is in fact a baby. He will get big and he will get strong, and it's going to be a hell of a day when he does.
Tell
You
me,
guys-
Wormling, what is your name? I am Kai. This is
Yes.
Leon, Moxie, and
Me.
Halfling. Help me.
Still not remember his name.
Mick?
It's so bizarre. It just doesn't stick. Sorry, I don't mean your name is bizarre. It's just not staying in my head. That's what's bizarre. Anyway, your name, Wormling.
I am Felgalos.
Oh,
That was a
tremendous
fascinating
name.
Very
It's a very
interesting.
Why
name.
magnificent name.
Tell me,
I know.
Felgalos, why would you want to destroy this village?
Because I was told to.
Right, the group we must not mention.
The big
Mhm.
people. The big people told you you had
Yes.
to.
They
Do you
did.
But doesn't that go against your nature?
We are
Dragons.
told to do it now.
Yes, but there's also more to life than doing just what you're told. That's where the fun happens.
Mommy and daddy, they were just minding their own business, and so was I. And then, poof, they just started going around and killing stuff. And then we were brought, and we were told that we had to go around and kill people and burn things down and get more of us for the reckoning.
Reckoning.
I see.
I happen to be very, very knowledgeable about dragons. And I can tell you, even if you do what you're told, you're going to feel good about that until they start making you do worse things. And then by the end of it, you're going to wonder why you did it, why you hurt all these people. Because you've got some growing to do, don't you? One day you're going to be
will grow
huge,
big and strong.
Yes.
and when you look back at your time as a child, don't you want to remember it fondly? Don't you want to be happy about what you did?
Well, mommy and daddy are killing people, so I should do the same.
What if you didn't have to?
What if you could save people? Wouldn't that be greater than killing people?
Imagine
He cranes
this.
his neck and
Imagine this. By doing nothing, right now you save every single person in this town.
Mhm.
Meanwhile,
not
I'm making
attacking.
sure no one's gonna start interrupting this thing that they're talking this dragon down.
All it
In other
takes
words,
is
I'm
to
keeping an eye on if there's any guards coming up, and if there are, he's going to go in and interrupt them, Leon.
All it takes
Speaking
is to not attack, and you save every life in this village.
4 guards. Good eye, Leon. You notice 4 guards coming directly to where you all are. Spears and swords out.
Says it's all right.
I get in front of
There's been a
the poor little
misunderstanding.
dragon, and I'm like, nope.
I also
I was-
moved between.
I had
the
already
guards and the
walked
dragon.
up to them to intercept them while you're talking with him.
How have I already forgotten his name?
Felgalos.
Felgaros. Here, I'll go and put it down what I think the correct typed up version is.
Calm yourself, guards. This is Felgalos, and he means us no harm. Isn't that right, Felgalos?
We are confused, for we overheard it speaking about destroying Shimmerberry. Very strange for his kind to want to do something like that.
Indeed, it is. He's very young and very impressionable. He's only doing this because I imagine his parents were forced to do it, and he's just following them.
And so we are trying to be a voice of reason.
Are you telling me that brass dragons are now attacking villages?
With the recent changes in the world, with a specific council recently being resurrected, dragons everywhere are about to be in great danger, as is the rest of the realm.
So we need to act quickly and decisively, but not rashly.
So we're trying our best to ensure that this young one does not
Doesn't make
corrupt
a
himself.
Very poor decision.
I'm here to kill everyone. That's what
But
I
that
was
is
told
not
to
what-
do. And
that is-
that's what I gotta do. I'm sorry, but I gotta do it. So
We're not
Felgalos,
going to let you do
Felgalos.
you
that.
are not strong enough. Even
And
if you wanted
we made a deal which you lost, so now you can't. Remember that.
dragons
okay.
are
So I was supposed to kill everyone, even you guys with the shiny armors. I was supposed to kill everybody, but then this lady here, she didn't burn. So I'm confused. I don't know what to do. So I guess I'll go. No, but they told me to do it here. I'm supposed to kill everybody here. So
Felgalos.
I should, but
If
I
you
can't
return, they will
because
hurt
I
you, won't
made
they?
a deed.
A deal.
A deed. I made a deed. A deed. A
A
deed.
duty?
What did I make? What
A
was
deal.
it? What is it
a
called?
deal.
A deal. A deal. That's what I did. I did that. Felgalos. I did that. You didn't.
Yes.
I did. So
Mhm.
I'm so confused now.
It's
I'm
all
supposed
good.
to kill everybody, but then you all told me not to do it, and that I made a dude. So now, since I made the dude, I can't kill everybody.
Might I
So do I
suggest
go somewhere else and kill all the peoples?
Mm,
Might I suggest another deal? If you return, they will hurt you, won't they?
I get eated.
But
That's
if you
even worse.
But if you stay, we will protect you.
If you stay and do not harm anyone in this town,
If you
We
stay
will
and help
protect
us,
you.
we will help you.
In fact, if you stay here and you learn and you get stronger, one day you might even be Felgalos, guardian of Shimmerberry. Doesn't that
Felgalos the
sound
Mighty.
A Garbian?
guardian,
mhm.
a
Yes.
protector? You know how your mommy and daddy protect you from everything that tries to hurt you? Well, all of us little things, because eventually to you we're going to be tiny. All
Like
us
me.
little things need protecting too. And one day, since you're going to be so big and strong, people might look to you for protection.
Okay. So say I do this, and I become a garden. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Say I become a garden.
Mm-hmm.
What do I get?
You get the love and the admiration of the people you protect, and they might even help give you a home, and they might
And
help give you food,
you get everything that you could learn.
I get
and
food.
they'll teach you.
You
And
do get food.
Yes.
What kind
Lots
of
of
food?
food here.
What kind of
That
food?
is not.
Leon, it's
Um,
not all of the local delicacies.
there's a few different mushrooms that make great appetizers. We've got a few livestock. I don't know how well the town's been doing on that regard. It's been a
I
while.
hear one of the mushrooms made him grow a tail.
Hey. Ixnay on the.
Would you like to see?
You got a tail? Let me see it. Are you a dragon too?
Come on, Leon.
Listen.
I
Show
am
him.
cackling over the table for all who end up watching this. This cackling is over the table because
Lion. I want you.
Yes.
If I'm gonna become a garden,
Leon the lion.
lion.
Ellie's such a
Shush.
baby.
Listen. If you lion are a dragon, because you tell me you have a tail, that makes you a dragon. So if I become a garden, I get to see your tail.
You can see my tail, but I am not a dragon, unfortunately.
If you got a
Let him have
tail,
his
then guess
imagination.
what? You're a dragon. So
That
sorry.
must
Okay.
make me a dragon. I have horns and a tail.
Yeah, I knew that, lady. I'm young. I'm not stupid. Okay. I knew that. Duh. Come on.
Yeah, I don't hide it very well.
Okay.
Show him.
Moxie,
Show him
do you
already.
need some burn heal?
We'll turn around.
He'll lift up. Well,
That definitely went. Whew, that joke that you made went.
Burn heal, Pokemon. Anyway,
He'll lift up
All
the
right,
back
lion.
of the robe
You
and
show me.
show the tail that's sticking through his pants.
Leon turns around, lifting up his jacket.
Meanwhile, with the other arm, he's massaging his temple, going,
the
"He's
things I
young.
do.
And
This is understandable."
You all, this is your first time seeing it, the group. His butt is straight at you,
Oh,
and
it's
right where the tailbone of a human is a tiny little fleshy nub that is ripped through his pants, and it's just twitching. It's wiggling because he's embarrassed. So it's like wiggling slightly. It's gross. It's veiny. It's veiny. It's
This is
super
hilarious.
white. It's like pale because it doesn't get sun.
Fascinating.
That
It reminds me of a little snub-nosed dog's tail. Like, you know when they're very, very young and you dox their tails? That's what that reminds me of. Is a dog's
That's
tail.
what
It's
it
fat.
is.
that is a gross tail.
Mine
Look
is
at my
Yeah.
tail. He
yours is
starts
like,
waving his tail around, and it's glowing. It's
tail
like
is
glittering in the
marvelous.
sunlight. And my
It's
tail.
so
Absolutely
pretty.
the most magnificent tail I've seen. And
I
Your
that's
think the
tail-
speed is back, guys.
You did your
Cool.
tail get eaten, lion? Did your tail get
No.
eaten?
No,
You
it's
get
not.
eaten? You can tell me. I had a
Nope.
friend who one time he got his tail eaten by a troll.
did it grow
Mm.
back?
No, his tail he's trying. He's trying to grow it back, but it's still it's bigger than yours. Your tail must have gotten eaten recently. It's tiny.
Anyways, enough with the show and tell, he says, just trying to straighten back out the robe and
He dusts
Do we
himself
have-
off and tries to look poised and is very embarrassed. The red and pink flushing your face.
I
I
pat him on the head. There are worse things to have. I
I clap
promise.
him on the shoulder. We will never forget this. So, Wormling, have we a deal?
I get. What do you want, Dick Mick?
over the table.
That was an over table cough.
Oh,
Upload speed is back.
Okay.
We can go back to streaming if we want.
Yeah. Wanted to stop the conversation so that going back is smooth.
Mm.
Okay. Starting stream.
damn it! I made a good name for you.
How rude.
Hello, Twitch. We are back.
Hello!
It seems Comcast has decided to have mercy on our stream.
After giving
For
us the
now.
business for like an hour.
Yes.
now.
Lord Comcast.
If anyone wants
Oh.
to give a very quick recap of what happened while we were off.
Nope.
While we
We-
were off, our intrepid adventurers heard of a dragon that was surrounding the town. As they went outside of the pub, which has a built-in system to sober people up as they exit. Don't ask me why, I made it up. As they exited and they saw the shadow flying overhead, they were curious. So they decided to go to one of the tallest buildings nearby, which happened to be a rich man's home. Stumbling and falling and flipping their way up this trellis onto this rich person's house, they saw the creature, the dragon, made of brass. As it came down, they noticed that it was not only a massive shadow that turned out to be a small brass wormling. 'Twas a baby who was sent here to kill everyone. And he swore, this young wormling named Felgalos, that he was going to kill everyone with all of his might. And our heroes have now been talking this dragon into staying in Shimmerberry and becoming its guardian. The young one is still trying to learn everything that they're saying and having a very difficult time with words. We now go back into Shimmerberry, where our intrepid adventurers have just learned that Leon, our word enthusiast in the party, has just shown off one of his darkest secrets, a fleshy nubbins known only to his backside as his best friend, a really fleshy, stubby tail that he showed off to the dragon.
I'm just picturing it like a tiny baby's fist sticking out of his trousers.
That's what it looks like. Thank you. The tiny baby's fist of a nubbin little tail that was shaking and shimmering around. How he got this, I think he has said. But we now go back into the scene that was just playing out, where they were talking to Felglos.
So, Felglos, do we have a deal?
You know what? If I get to have food, and these people are gonna let me stay here, do I get to hunt in the woods?
I think that's a detail that we would have to work out with the people here.
But we could certainly talk about it.
We can ask.
And they'll teach me stuff?
Definitely.
If you ask nicely. But you've
You know
got to
where you
remember
can
to
learn-
be polite.
You know where you can learn everything you ever wanted to know?
It-
The library.
The berries?
The library.
Who's lying berries?
The library.
They're
You mentioned
tasty.
it. They said they
I
wanted
will
you to
admit.
destroy it.
Oh, the library.
Yes.
Yes.
They told me to destroy it.
But if you
But it's-
don't,
Specifically.
the
They told me
library is
specifically.
the library is full of knowledge, full of everything you could ever want to learn. If you don't destroy it, you can learn it.
And with knowledge comes power. You can get
Yes.
stronger.
Maybe even strong enough to help your parents.
Okay. I'll become the garden. Now
Okay.
There
take
you
me
go.
to your wiener.
You mean the leader?
I think he might be asking for food, actually.
I'm hungry.
Okay. Let's go find you food.
Well, there you have it, gods.
Please.
Shimmerberry's new guardian.
In trade,
Felgalos,
We're going to have to talk.
Yes, I will have to
Amongst-
explain. I understand.
Leon, you might want to discuss with the council
Yes.
on this new topic and see how they feel.
Oh no,
Because
Felgalos,
this
not
will
that
have
one.
to be a matter that is also brought to all of the townsfolk, and
Yes.
understanding that a dragon that is walking amongst the town is not a threat to them.
not this one at least.
Yes.
Still best to be wary of any other dragon that comes in. But this one at least is not a problem.
Are there any other dragons?
No.
Did you see any?
There
About
are
that.
many out and about across the land, but not
That is
here.
a discussion we should probably have in private. Away from impressionable young ears, perhaps?
True.
Did you
we will
ask
discuss that
him
further.
if he came alone?
He was the only one we saw.
Did you, Felglos?
Dad, what?
Did you come alone, or were others with you?
No, there's a couple towns that the Herald, he took them to go kill everybody.
The Herald.
Mm-hmm.
So there's more of you.
Can
I
Against,
ask,
a few towns
Yeah.
What
also?
sort of dragon is the Herald?
He's big one. He's real big. He's probably one. No, he's not biggest, but he's big. He's big. He's big.
What
He's got
color is
big
he?
horns. He's black, and he's got big spikies, and they come out of his all over the place. They're like on his neck and
So
his
he looks
head.
like a flying hedgehog almost.
Yes, but
No.
he's got two very big horns that go up, and then he's got big wings, and he loves to just talk. He's a big talker.
Did you
He-
say the
he
horns
talks.
went back?
They go like this.
We need to go.
They go like whoop.
He's not come here. He went somewhere else, he said.
We need to go to Iron Falls.
Yes, this is some
no.
stressing information. Moxie,
Yes.
I believe I had another vision last night, and it sounds very similar to what it's saying. We need to have
I've
a conversation.
I've seen the Herald for myself. He is in fact a very imposing individual.
As have I. We need to find a
I
safe
look
place
at
for
the
this.
guards and I say, please be patient with him. We must go and attend to something that is a matter of life and death, but please
If you
take
have
care
a
of
young
us."
teacher or caregiver of some sort that has some great patience with the city's young,
Yes. We'll speak with the town wizard.
Oh no.
very
not my
well.
mentor.
And make sure he has access to the library.
Yes.
Ugh.
Leon
he
might
starts-
want to introduce the youngling. However, I don't know if you and your master are on the best of speaking terms. Are you, Leon?
What
Not-
have you done, Leon?
You see,
Yes. What have you done?
a few things, but we should go and get Mr. Falcaros something to eat so he can get settled and we can.
I
No.
see. Yes, let's get this handled, and you can explain on the way.
Yes.
And then if need be, I will introduce our new friend to your teacher and see what your teacher says then.
To the pub? Butcher? What do you have? What do you have here?
What are you wanting to do? Are you wanting to feed the youngling?
Yes.
I mean, at least like drop him off somewhere if we can. If not, he's just gonna walk with us. Maybe we can get food for him.
At least for the moment, we won't be able to continue to supply him food.
I
'Cause we're
think
about to have
the
to leave.
wizard might be able to help with that.
Mm,
Oh, that's
well,
good.
then, let
Can
us
you take
not
us?
delay.
We will
this way.
take you to his tower.
Oh,
As you all are walking through the town, you're
Oh.
passing buildings that are something out of a fairy tale book. You're seeing toadstool houses that have little tiny windows and wooden doors, and you're seeing all of these wooden structures that have organic components that are built into them, vines that are growing up, covered in those same mushrooms. And you're passing now through an archway that is made up of roots and vines that comes to a point with a cluster of these glowing mushrooms at each tip. And through these archways, you now see a tower, a stone tower that is, it has a rounded dome-like bottom leading up to what seems to be some kind of observatory.
Merlin's
On the top.
beard.
Impressive.
You would probably find it in there, yes.
Here's the,
Possibly
the
attached to the
mage's
very man
tower.
himself.
Thank
Is
you.
there anything else that we can help you with? We need to go and discuss some things with the council.
Okay. We'll handle it from here.
Thank you very much.
Very well.
I then
Knock on the door? Is that
Yep.
what that was? Okay.
I'm not about to go actually knocking on things.
Did you
Hello?
knock on the door?
Yes.
Yes.
You hear,
Uh,
just a moment.
Oh.
And then the door. Everybody that was close to the door, roll a d20 for me, please.
Okay.
Which I guess would be 17?
18.
That's a 4 on dice.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Leon?
Yes.
What was your
What'd
dice
you roll?
roll?
18, I said.
18. Mick?
I wasn't next to the door.
Okay. Moxie, you get thrown back with the door slamming you into the ground.
Holy
As
hellfire!
you are underneath this big wooden door. You take
God
2
damn it.
damage. And you see a very long bearded wizard, very Merlin-esque looking, that has fungus growing off of his face that is glowing. And he also has like actual little tiny life that is like crawling
It's
up and down him.
Radagast.
It's very much like
I was just thinking
Radagast,
that, yeah.
the brown. Hello there. Sorry, I was actually testing a new invention.
Me now!
Oh,
Relax, Moxie. I lift the
I'm
door.
in pain!
Kai lifts the door off of her. The dragon
I
is just
cracked a
sitting there
rib.
going, whoa.
I just cracked a rib. Ow!
Oh,
Hello.
Leon,
Yes.
what are you doing here?
We
Oh,
have
boy.
a new charge for you.
Uh,
That is
that
not
would be-
Leon. Say hello.
Rather,
to
we were hoping
Felgos.
you would help.
Oh my. A
we could
brass
use your aid
dragon.
in...
A very
Yes.
brave brass dragon, who I hear can help heal wounds, right, Moxie?
Yes, he can. Would you be so kind as to heal my cracked rib? It's
I don't think your sternum is supposed to
The
bulge out
dragon
like
starts waddling over to her, and as he's focusing, he still looks at Leon very pissed off.
Yes.
What are you doing back?
that. What did you do?
Yeah, really.
Needed to go and stop by the council. We met our brass dragon here, Mr. Felglos. After someone said they spotted a dragon, he was told to take care of the town if you'd prefer, and remove the library from the town.
Not
he is a-
only did you not finish your training, but you also forgot to, I don't know, fix the giant explosion that you made in the top of my observatory.
It was one problem.
Leon!
One problem, sitting there and creating different experimentations when you have no absolute knowledge of the things in which you are dealing is exactly what got you that disgusting tail on the back end of your rear, boy.
Oh,
I heard it was
Now-
from eating a mushroom.
Leon, get in there and arrange my bookshelf immediately.
Better do as he says.
Hurry along now. Hurry
Yes,
along
You
Yeah.
should
now.
definitely do what he says.
He's
Well,
obviously glaring and mixed embarrassed as he goes and starts shuffling away at the books.
his tail is quite
As you
dignified.
enter, you see that there are tons of books that are just piled and piled on top of each other.
Neat as always, I see.
Stacks on stacks on stacks.
Now, as for the dragon wormling, Moxie, you're fully healed, by the way.
Yes.
Uh,
I'm just now in awe of all of the knowledge around me. I'm like,
Moxie's running around looking at the books. Leon is sitting there going, as he's putting one by one on the shelves. What are you all doing?
I am
Uh,
paying full attention to the wizard.
I am trying to be companionable for the impressionable young dragon. Tell me, Felgalus, do you know how to read?
No, I don't.
Interesting. Well, you can
But
learn
he
how here.
is very willing to learn, from what I understand, right, Felgalus?
Yeah, I can. I'm smart. I'm real
Mhm.
smart.
he sounds like such a cute little 6-year-old.
I got big brain.
It
Yes.
shows. You have a great big wrinkly brain, I can tell.
Big one. Real big.
Are there any books of particular?
As he
Interest.
walks you all inside, you now are staring at an immaculate collection of scrolls, tomes, books that are piled and piled and piled on top of each other, reaching up to the top of the observatory as a spiraling staircase goes all the way up to the top of it with a platform that you cannot quite see what's above it right now. But also lining the inside of the tower are more of those mushrooms, and you also see tiny fairies and hummingbirds and things like that that are flittering back and forth, going and pollinating different flowers and generally playing around with each other. As you also see when he calls, you see a fairy dragon that comes down from the top rafters and lands on his shoulder. Yes, master, how can I help you? I would like you to go and procure some drinks for our friends here, as I prepare a meal for the wormling. As you wish, my master. And
It's a
it
fairy
flies off.
dragon.
What's the name? The feed cut out right when you said it.
Huh?
The feed cut out right when right when the wizard called, so I didn't catch the name.
Roderick is the fairy
Roderick.
dragon.
Roderick,
I love it.
the
Roderick.
fairy dragon. That is a fairy dragon, isn't it?
Yes, it's
Yes.
quite a rare specimen.
Yes, as you've gone on and told me plenty about.
Yes, I did, Leon, and it appears as if you didn't write anything down about them, did you?
Honestly,
Allow
Leon,
me to see your tome of knowledge.
have you not gained
No,
it?
not again. I'm not
He
going
snaps
over.
his fingers and the book goes over to his hand as he looks to... One story that isn't even about the things that I told you? What is
No.
this? Lorna and the Call of the Lake. What is this?
That was a recent encounter we had
Yeah.
up at Old Icebury.
Like 2 days
And
ago.
I
It was
believe it
about
was
2 days
yesterday.
ago. Actually, yes, it was. We then
And
came
Leon,
and he
you
chronicled
were
it.
there?
He chronicled
Yeah.
it for us.
In fact, I believe it was his idea to speak to the serpent instead of fighting it and come to a peaceful solution. Over table. Yes, Moxie, I know it was yours.
No,
But-
I'm sitting here going along with it because I'm like,
Okay.
he did agree to go along with it, and he was the first to agree. So I'm not saying anything.
The composition is sloppy. You have a few grammatical errors, but other than that, passable.
Ah,
And
As
he
he
did
passes the
marvelous
book back over to
spellcasting.
you.
thank you.
I also read a chapter about bread. I don't understand what that's about, but
Don't worry
That
about the bread.
was
That
That's
was some
just-
good bread.
that
Just saying.
was a fun evening that we had with with a nice couple that we stayed with on our travels.
Leon, I expect you to do better. I taught you much better about chronicling things.
Yes, I know.
Yes,
Write it
Leon, you would
twice.
do well to respect your elders.
I hold up what looks like a very rough and battered book. I write songs. I'm no stranger to writing things, but my handwriting is a bit sloppy.
You all are interesting to me, but you do come here when I was doing an experiment, and I'm wondering why you're here. Why
Yes.
are you here?
It is actually a very urgent matter.
A great evil has been loosed upon the world in the form of the Cinder Flame. And
He-
his...
He's taking a drink, and as you say that, he
Not on the shirt. It's already been burned.
It is a matter of which the youngling has actually had direct experience.
The youngling... Poor
He was
Felgalos
sent
here.
by the Harbinger.
No, the Herald.
Oh, the Herald.
Yes.
Right, sorry, my bad.
The Herald.
I am so bad with names.
The Herald sent him here and instructed his parents to go about destroying things.
I know nothing about a herald, but the name that you said does bring some
The
terror
Herald,
into my mind.
Do you perhaps know of a council that
the
must
Council
not
of
be named?
Cinders.
There it
I've
is.
only heard about it in some of the ancient tomes in the restricted section of the library that I've read.
Well,
don't
they
suppose-
have been resurrected.
Might I suggest that we open up that section? Because we need to learn quickly.
Meanwhile, Leon has put down a book and closed the door. Perhaps we shouldn't speak so loudly, as our youngling here has more than said
But
once.
first,
They are
we should
listening.
have food brought for young
Yes.
Felgalos here.
Yes.
Some sausages, perhaps?
You
Fish.
hear Roderick then proclaim, "I'm bringing the food." And you see this fairy dragon start coming down, and he has a fistful of some fruits and vegetables, and then you see a massive swarm of these big bees that are carrying bags and bags of food down into the chamber, and it's just dropping all of these bags onto the floor as you see the room in which you are standing expand ever so slightly.
I must learn how to do this. This would make my living space so much more accommodating back home.
I'm sorry, did this room just get
Thank
bigger?
you. Thank you.
Don't worry about it.
This is amazing.
Why wouldn't I worry about it?
You all may partake in anything that you would like.
I
You
pick up
see, you see Felgalos's
any?
eyes widen as he just.
I join him.
You
a
see
halfling eats
Nick
like a dragon.
and Felgalos that are sitting there going.
We
Spilling
may,
their
in fact, have
bellies.
finally met something that can give the halfling a bit of a run for his money.
I
It's a close
don't.
It's a
Don't
close
talk
race,
with
I
your
admit.
mouth full. It's disgusting.
Does he ever talk with it not full?
Now,
Anyway.
getting back to matters at hand, what are you all quite looking for?
Information.
Answers.
Well, I don't know any better place than the library itself.
Tell me,
Yes.
do you know of a prophecy? Something to do with
The
Well
red
of Skulls or the Red Moon?
an ancient tale of a crimson moon that certain people that are born under it could have a propensity to possess great abilities. However, I don't know much of this tale. Most of the scriptures written about it were torn out of the tome in which I was reading.
I think I know by whom.
Moxie, Leon, those tomes
yes.
of yours. Maybe we can.
You mean
It's worth looking.
you mean the one that doesn't show up entirely when I open it?
If there's anyone who can help understand it, I would believe it's this man.
Wake up. Wake up, please. And then I stroke the spine. Wake up, my friend.
Are you talking to that book?
It normally responds.
It does respond,
Well, all right then.
usually at least.
Leon, have you
What
tried
are you
talking to
all
yours?
getting at?
I literally just hold up the book.
This book
I would not
has
try
some-
to open it if I were you.
Not without buying
Something.
it dinner first, so to speak.
Sir,
He tries to use a spell on it to levitate it, and as he does,
Oh no. Oh no.
you see that his energy that is going around the book, you see that a purple glow starts going back over to his hands.
No,
And
no.
As it
no,
does,
stop.
you see it grab hold of him, and it starts to pull him forward, and then it slings him back into the wall.
Oh no.
Ah.
No.
Well, I have never quite seen a book do that before.
sir,
Apparently,
you're
it's
right.
very temperamental. I'm the only one who's ever been able to open it.
You
And
do
now
well
it's just
to-
being fussy.
Oh, that was interesting. Leon,
Are you alright?
let me help you up, sir.
thank you, young lady. Oh. That was strange, I do declare. You, halfling,
Yes?
you leave the dragons some food. They have very large bellies that they need to feed. I believe you've had your fill.
Yeah, I think I'm done.
I
Food was
you
very
shall not.
good.
You see, I'm not the only one who has trouble with his name.
He twirls his finger and a thing of meat appears in your hand. There, wash it down. You're going to need it. You've got schmutz on your lip.
I
Does the
swear,
observatory
I'm
still have
amazed.
the silence on it so as
Very
no
good.
one could hear in?
What,
So-
Leon?
Does the observatory, sir, still keep guarded from others watching?
Of course, there's a ward of protection around it. And a cone of silence.
Let's hope that's enough to keep out the things we need.
That
I
is
will need to
probably
tell
a good
you.
place to talk.
We
In
should
fact-
talk up there.
Yes,
You
well,
all are needing to speak amongst yourselves.
I
No,
feel that
we
would
need
be
to talk
best.
with you about something. I'd rather not.
Leon,
Uh,
I at least have something that needs to be said.
and I have some interesting things to impart as well that I might find answers for here, actually.
Very well. You all may go up to the observatory and speak, and when you need to speak to me, you may tell Roderick, call for him, and he will get me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you, sir.
Ascend to the top.
Thank you!
Going up the
He's still-
staircase, you then see a doorway that is on the ceiling that turns into a literal door that you can walk through, as if the
Plain, like,
the planar surface that you are on has shifted. and you go up onto an observatory that has a large telescope that is going out into the sky, and you can tell that there's a very powerful magical field of energy that is around this room. You see tables of potions and different alchemic experiments that are on the table, and bookshelves that line each of the walls. And you can also see like blast marks and things like that from where possible experiments have gone awry, and very shoddy patchwork that was done to the left side of the observatory.
Well,
Leon,
I see
is that
where
your doing?
your handiwork is.
I never said I was very good at what I did.
Oh, none of us thought that. Don't worry.
So, what did you see, Kai?
I was brought to the temple again. I'm not sure if it's a combination of the alcohol from this place or just bad timing. The monk who I encountered was chained by a shadowy force. He was not able to speak or assist. But he brought me there to see something. He sent me to places in time. One that I'm sure happened before, and one which may be a vision of things to come, should
Or
we
happening
fail.
now?
Perhaps.
Was it a city?
The one in the past was a city
The, f-
in
the sorry,
the Dale.
the future.
I was atop a mountain, overlooking the landscape, and it was in flames. And the head of a vile creature, a dragon, emerged, and I saw the herald flying. He said, "Let it be known that my master is here to stay." He spoke of the Council of Cinders.
The council was mentioned. I stood amongst a family's home, and it was turned to ash around me. And there, short ways away, was the herald on the ground, having just incinerated said home. And then something unpleasant happened for me. This demon called Hex, likely not his real name, has me trying to be his informant, which is not pleasant.
You
Actually,
made
it
the
turns
deal
out
with
you are
him?
not. It turns out you are not the only one.
Did you actually make the deal with him?
He had me shake his hand last he saw me, and said he will come to collect at some point for something.
I
He
didn't shake
has-
his hand.
He has my father, apparently. A demon that looks like me, except his horns are much more elaborate. He was chained, and he recognized me, or called for me, and looked very surprised at seeing me. I also saw the Mikage, much, much younger, and he had gone on a very destructive genocide. That was not pleasant. He had spent a very long time getting to the point that he did with us. And it's baffling to me that this particular demon is showing up to everyone. I trust nothing like myself. Let that be known. I trust nothing like myself. But in the situation that I found myself in, needing answers, needing other things, well, mostly answers and knowledge, I shook his hand, not knowing it was necessarily a deal, but not necessarily also trusting that he was going to simply want a handshake. He said I should try getting my hands dirty, as if I haven't already. Because, believe me, I have. It's not a
Oh.
path that I want to take.
I believe you.
So, now I need to find out how to get back to my father, decipher what my deity keeps telling me. I have figured out another word. The first word is I, as in self, I. Second word is find. There are 2 more words to be figured out, but I have it written down, and I'm a little scared to find out what that means.
I am wondering something. Is there anyone here Hex has not spoken to in a vision?
I've
Leon.
not been
Leon.
speaking with Hex.
If I may finish my vision of a possible future, we should
Yes.
then possibly all compare notes on our encounters with Hex. There was one more thing that I thought was important. After I saw the Herald, the Cinder Flame emerged from the ground and shouted, "My reign is here, I will ascend." And someone approached me. They could not see me, they did not respond to me, they were cloaked, so I do not know who it was. But they said, "We were too late, they need to be assembled again." And I believe they're referring to some group called the Chamber.
The chamber.
I don't know anything more about that, but they spoke of the Ravnikins, Payrunes, whatever those are, and they were giving information on troop movements in the Iron Falls, Far Peak, and yes, Shimmerberry, and the Danian underground forces, which I've never heard of. But these all seem like places to start, and I don't know
Forces
right now.
in Far Peak.
I don't know if this was a vision of the future or something from the past. But I do know that if it is the future, we don't want it to happen.
Of course it isn't.
I saw Iron Falls in flames.
I have seen nothing of my home, but Far Peak is not terribly forgiving of those that would defile her, so to speak.
Far Peak was not doing well.
You start to see her eye twitch just slightly. Oh.
We need to find out about this chamber, and perhaps
Maybe there is
assemble them.
something here.
Perhaps assemble them before this can occur.
Or maybe it's us, and we are the latest iteration.
I wouldn't be so vain.
Don't all great assemblies start out as a ragtag band of misfits at some point or another in their lives?
You speak of stories. Right now, we are just people with information and first-hand experience, and we will do what we must to do what we can. That I promise, but I would not dare be so vain as to think that we are this chamber. But there is something else that I saw. I was brought to the past, into a village in the Dale.
Oh. Whoop. That was an accident.
I had asked for wisdom in a temple, and there were runes on it that are difficult to describe, but perhaps I can etch them out for you. I was brought into the home of a man, a woman, and 2 children, and they were cowering in fear. Something was looking for them. They didn't want to be seen. I looked outside, and there were soldiers with spiked armor, and the Mikage arrived. Not the same Mikage as we saw. He looked, insofar as I can say for
I'll be right back.
such a creature, he looked younger.
And with more color.
More vital.
Right.
Right. Interesting. They were searching for people with abilities. What abilities I couldn't find, but I did hear something about the Red Moon.
Yes.
And then I saw a horned being with a glowing blue eye, and he recognized me by name. I didn't expect to see him there, nor did he appear to expect me. I believe this was your Hex. Actually, I know it was your Hex. He told me that I could not pronounce his real name, but I should call him that. He offered me a drink, I agreed to a toast but did not partake. And he asked me many cryptic questions, led me to believe that my key is not, in fact, key. And it has made me start to wonder about my own history. I think I need to learn when I was born, if it was under the red moon.
That seems about right for me as well.
Interesting.
I was smiling because my daughter is off yonder off camera.
Aw, sweetheart. Just totally pulling us out of the situation. Immersion is ruined!
Oh, you'll be fine.
Nuh-uh. I'm gonna die. I'm totally gonna die. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get Felglos and we're gonna eat all of the fruit that we can find. Aww.
Hi, fussy one. What's wrong? Are you hungry? Are we
I
hungry,
noticed,
Dragon?
I notice you have a 1 right now. Crit fail on the immersion there.
Yes, because my offspring showed up on camera. Yes. But yes, back into immersion.
So,
The Red Moon. He got very, very irate and asked me to tell him more about the Red Moon when I found out. Now, not having really any contact with either of my birth parents long enough to know what I was born under, I can only assume that since I've been roped into this, that I fall under that purview. Did he say anything else to you, say about our adventures in Icebury, perhaps?
he did not, as a matter of fact.
He
But
questioned...
I feel like we are being searched for.
We are, most definitely. We also assaulted the Mikage in his own home and got away with it.
I wouldn't say we've gotten away with it. We just got away.
But he decided to try to convince me that I had been part of the end of Lorna's race because she was no longer able to take the villagers' children, and he tried to make me doubt my decision.
He seems like the sort of character who would do that.
Instead of to say sue for peace, which is ultimately what we did, and I don't think any of us second-guessed that decision.
For a moment. But
he's seeming to be that... What is it that most of these more vocal religious people like to say? Also, sorry, over the table moment, please excuse the crying, my child is fussy. In and back into
and she is not being a bad parent. The other parent in the household is caring for the child.
She is just fussy and she's tired and she's not wanting to eat.
Yep.
But he kept trying to say that and then wanted answers that I could not give and got angry when I told him what I knew.
He asked me questions as well. Did not provide any answers. I had asked for wisdom, guidance, and I got sent to Hex. And the best thing I have as far as a notion on where to move forward is the Well of Souls might be a good place to start.
I was told the Well of Tears.
Interesting.
And that was to find my father. My father is alive. My mother is not. He wants my mother's soul, and as far as I'm concerned, given how little she's had to do with me, she can be in his collection of whatever he wants. My father, on the other hand, I suspect is held captive, and I would like him released. But I'm going to need some extra assistance with that.
Leon, you've been quiet. What do you say about this situation?
Well, first off, I'll check the room one last time. I got the book to talk to me, for one. And two, from what you encounters, I have to say I do think I was visited by this hex.
Interesting.
Though he called himself a different name.
Which would be.
Z. X-E-H.
Leon, turn that around.
Yes, I know. I'm saying hex.
Okay.
I believe that's the same person. He told me that I should go and do some investigating, and I would find answers in the library and at the Mother Tree. An ally of his, or a mutual benefactor, would be sitting under the Mother Tree, well, the library of sorts, the giant building outside with the homes and such.
And was there someone sitting outside?
No, it's under the building itself, he's saying.
Oh,
There's a secret passage he wants us to take. It's somewhere in the fiction department. We'll have to look around, see if there's something off about the place.
oh, I'm certain there will be.
Oh,
I
there
don't
will be.
know about trusting him.
Well,
I
no,
certainly wouldn't.
obviously we shouldn't trust him. But let's be honest. Have we got anything else to go on?
Not until we get a bit further and maybe have the option of going against him. Because we probably
talked
should
with
go
him-
against him.
I had no idea of this person, but he said he worked under the council, so I have no idea if it's a coincidence for one, or if the council is in league with the Council of Cinderflame.
He seemed almost offended when I brought that up, suggesting that he was the Cinderflame.
He laughed at me, but also laughed when I initially asked, "Are you my father?" And he very much said no. Though he did explain that my father had come to him down on his luck, owing a great many things to a great many people. But he was gutless, according to him. And he's hoping I won't be the same because he's offering me some kind of power. Little does he know that, that not my cup of tea.
Besides, I can't imagine any power he might offer would put him in any sort of disadvantage.
Yes.
No. No one in power gets to power without somehow finding a way to make it to their advantage.
Mm-hmm. Over table, just look at the Republican Party currently.
What is it that Jorah Mormont says in season 1 of GOT? It's rich people do not get rich by giving more than they have.
True.
Like the wealthy men do not get wealthy by giving more than they have.
So I think we've kind of hit a standstill until Mick comes back.
As well as the book, I got it to speak with me, Moxie.
Oh, what did it say? Mine does not actually speak. Mine does this scale, fluttery thing with purple energy.
It wrote down with me. He'll open up the book. He and the book were writing in. You can see for yourself.
Can I?
On there would be a bunch of phrases, one of which is repeated quite a bit, saying Aeon, Aeon, Aeon.
Okay, so he had a separate book. When he was trying to speak to his first book, one of his books that he typically writes in started to be written in while trying to speak, and it said all of this.
Aeon,
Let's start
trust no
here.
one.
He lies. It's coming. Run. Open the book.
About that time, the thing about the dragon occurred. I was a bit spooked, to say the least, so I started gathering everything up.
He listens and he lies.
It's coming. Run. If I
Yep.
had to guess, I think Hex is going to be an operative
Hex?
for the Mikage. I would not be
Or
surprised.
I would not be surprised, but I think he may also be just a third party stirring the pot. He
You
does
could say that.
explain, he did explain quite explicitly, I don't get out often. I'm bored.
Yes, he did seem to be rather enjoying the situation.
He is an infernal being. I know probably where he spends a lot of his time, and over the centuries one gets bored in a place like that, even with all of the things at his disposal.
Yes, but this person walked up to me and knocked on my door.
I was handed mine by a random stranger when I was coming home in the middle of the night.
He's talking about
No,
Z.
Hex.
Ah,
Z. He walked up and talked with me in person. He
that's
was in my room.
terrifying.
I did not realize who he was. He was
You're
slender,
missing a
had an
very
elvish...
important detail, Leon.
I know, I'm trying to go over it with him,
There we
as the character would. He was slender, about 6'2", had elven hair, was slicked back, wore a large top hat on top of his head, and wore purple and green robes. And apparently he works under the council but wants to spread knowledge of things that they don't want to be known.
Oh.
Dark things, from what I understand.
That doesn't surprise me.
I had understood that he wants us to help him get information. He wants information to get out. That's an entirely different thing.
Yes.
What if the information he has is the key to information he wants, and he wants us to get it for him?
I
Do
mean,
we really want to be giving that to him?
Well,
We've
No.
seen what happens with the Mikage. I don't want to repeat such a scenario.
it's entirely possible that the information is key to putting the Cinder Flame back where he came from.
or doing away with
But-
him entirely.
But it could also create an opening for Hex to cause even more trouble. Now let me ask you this, Moxie. You've had dealings with him. Are demons such as this Hex known to outright lie?
That's a very tricky question. I then show off the very obvious scar in the back of my hand. It's like, he did this and granted me a bit of power. I did not ask for it, he gave it. Looks like that. If you know what that is, tell me. Tell me
He's a
who's-
butterfly.
If only, if only. Demons are less likely to outright lie, as that is far easier to... It's far easier to disprove a lie that is entirely fabricated than it is to have a lie with a grain of truth somewhere in the middle. So around a certain point, he's telling you the truth, which makes you want to trust him. But then the rest of it is pure lies to get you to do what he wants. Whether it's with the promise of, oh, your family will be safe, or, oh, I'll give you power beyond your wildest dreams, or some other such promise that he thinks will get you to agree.
So it sounds to me like my understanding is accurate, that we can trust the information freely given, but not the situations suggested as an end.
We, as a group, are simply a means to his end, which is as yet almost entirely unknown. But I know for a fact that when he kept asking if I had any questions, and I was pretty stubborn, and I outright pouted a mild amount. I'm not proud of that. But I said, well, what's the use of me asking you anything if you won't give me answers? Because nearly everything I'd asked outright, he said, well, that would be telling, wouldn't it? Or that was what I would assume, because he would sit there and stare at me. So there are certain things he's willing to answer. But then what I really want to know, he's making me find for myself. And I'm quite sure he probably does not look the way I think he does or the way Leon thinks he does.
No.
He's
He
a
seems to be
demon.
a
They
shape
can
changer.
change. He's a demon. They can change their appearance quite easily. I imagine the hat was to hide his horns. If he does, in fact, look like what I see, then he had to have some way to disguise the fact that he has horns that stretch to the high heavens.
I have a feeling, if you look here, I'm showing a picture. Well, I honestly could bring it up. No, let's not break immersion. I'm just gonna drop it here and DM if you want to share this with them. I believe he looks like this picture from, yes,
I've seen that.
from the temple that, there were 2 temples that I visited. One of them had this symbol, and the other had a vaguely different one. I believe this one represents Hex in some way.
Might as well. I saw this exact one on a scroll in a door in my mind.
And so then I go and try to etch the one that I saw in the other temple. That was through a door that led me directly to him, and he seemed surprised to see me. This was on the door that gave me the vision of the possible future, the vision of destruction.
That also is a very similar rune
That
to the
was-
one on the necklace that was on the girl.
It's
What
the
is-
shape that's on the necklace, and it's also a shape that there was something that was mentioned to me.
You mean the stone?
Yes.
Yes, Mick saw all of these things as well, by the way. He just... And scrolls on doorways.
This swirl makes me think of a well, and Hex did mention a well of souls, and you said a well of tears?
The Well of Tears to find my father. He left things for me, supposedly.
All these things seem to be piecing together. But in what way?
Perhaps we need to visit these wells, find the items left for us, and perhaps those will help to seal this thing.
I have no
The
idea.
question is, now, even if we understand everything ourselves, how much do we tell the council? How much do we tell my mentor downstairs?
Your mentor, you've known longer than any of us. Can we freely give him this information without fear of him being harmed for knowing any of it?
Your book said trust no one.
That's
Yes.
true. Probably with good
Sorry.
reason. So we might simply ask for free use of the library while we are here and gain as much as we can, restock, take a nice rest, get all of the liquor out of our systems entirely. Though we are sober, I think it would be nice to have a long, sober night's rest. And then set out for Micknick's home in Iron Falls.
We'll never say no to a chance to meditate. Perhaps I'll be able to free the master who's been trying to aid us.
Maybe I can find my father.
I forgot to mention, I tried to do that last time, and when I touched his chains, I was thrown out
Of
of the
every...
ethereal flame.
Yes, that is exactly what happened to me. He locked eyes with me and then sudden, like coming down from that stupid pollen high, all of a sudden just sucked back into my body, and I was like, wheeze.
So, I feel we need to decide, what are we looking for? What are our main focus points? One of
Yeah.
them is definitely this red moon, the prophecy of the red moon.
Yes.
I imagine we'll find that either from where Dawn suggested or from Hex. We have 2 paths to follow. One is from Dawn, suggesting we follow the mushroom glow underneath the mother tree. If I remember
I'm sorry,
right.
who is Dawn? I think I missed that.
That was from last session over at the table.
His deity, I believe.
No,
Oh,
the person that kept visiting me, the person that visited me in my last little vision when we all did this sort of thing.
Oh, okay. Well,
I say we follow the mushroom glow because I do not think following Hex anywhere is going to lead to anything good.
I think looking into some of the information he's given us, the tidbits of truth that he drops to entice us,
They
would be a
might be
good
worth
place to go.
looking into. I mean,
But-
I have this thing on my hand. That's probably not coming off anytime soon.
So I think we should learn of these wells, not seek them
And-
out. And we need to figure out what this chamber is. And the Ravnikins and Payrunes. I have no idea what those are. Do you?
Yes.
Does any-
Can I go and do an intelligence check to see if I know anything on that?
I mean,
Yes.
They're names that stood out to me.
15.
16 on dice. Standard intelligence. Would that be under? What would that be under?
That'd be under intelligence.
Okay. That's a 17.
The
Well,
both
I got a
of you-
16 with history.
The both of you look at each other and you nod as you. Which one are you wanting to know about first?
Payrunes.
You know that the Payrunes are the guild leaders of the great city of Ravnica.
I recognize that city.
Ravnikins. Ravnikins, geez me.
I am very aware.
I wrote it down
Yes.
phonetically and then said it different.
The great city of Ravnica, you recollect through your learnings, Leon, that they have a class system that is based upon different guilds. And those guilds have payrunes that lead said guild. The entire city of Ravnica is a symbiotic relationship between all of these guilds. Some agree with each other, some do not.
Some don't agree with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So, to clarify what I was saying earlier, the Ravnikins and Payrunes were mentioned in the same breath as Iron Falls, Far Peak, and Shimmerberry. And it was nothing positive in that vision. So even all of those forces were being... So essentially, we can't let this Cinder Flame
Continue.
truly be released. It seems like what has been released... Oh! Realization. Okay, in character. What was released was not the Cinder Flame. It was the Herald.
The Herald was released.
The Herald, I'm assuming, precedes the Cinder Flame,
As a
as
herald,
the name would suggest.
as a herald in war precedes the general.
So the Herald is sending dragons to cities to raise them, or
For the day of
to-
reckoning.
or to probe their defenses. He's probably also scouting. What strategic reason is there to attack Shimmerberry? What?
Remove
There must be
information.
something here.
The library itself is a great.
It's
They
over
said-
100 years old. I know that for sure.
They sent Felgalos to burn the library. Your deity said there is something hidden under the library.
We should go find it.
That's where we start.
We start
And I
under the
think-
library.
And I think we should start sooner rather than later. Am I hearing you clap behind the camera, DM? I am smarter than my character.
I certainly.
Uh, the pieces, they just all suddenly clicked. This is why I'm a writer.
Oh, this is what makes being a writer fun, I must agree.
Mhm.
So, shall we forego our small adventures here in this marvelous place, I must admit, in favor of going straight after that which lives beneath the mother tree?
It would be
I will
great
have
if we
to
could.
go and deal with the council and
Why
deal with the
don't
Fagalos problem.
Well, there were two paths that were mentioned. Leon, you know of two different ways.
Mhm.
One was this follow the glowing mushrooms,
Mm-hmm.
or
The one
whatever.
by Dawn.
And the other
And
was, remind me?
The secret passage in the fiction department of the library.
I am curious about this secret passage, though. Something pulls me towards that, not because of Hex, but because of what I saw. Well, who I saw, not what, who. I wish to see if perhaps this person that I saw is chained under the library. It's not entirely impossible.
Well, weren't we just saying that we need to figure out how to get under the library? They wanted to burn the library, which means there's something here, right?
Yep.
So this hidden passage under the mother tree, which is not the library, I'm understanding?
It is,
It
from what
is
I
the
understand.
library.
Yes.
Yes.
The entire tree is a giant complex.
So we've
Oh,
got
The mother tree is basically an amalgam. It is one of the main sources of knowledge in Theatil.
So this is a massive, massive archive of centuries upon centuries of knowledge, lore, power, and history.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
this is
we've
like
got
over 500 years of.
I think I
work.
understand it now. We've got a temptation inside the library, and we've got the path beneath the library. So which of those do we go after?
That depends on what we think we will find in said temptation.
I think it's best to, as a monk, my devout training, you think you're so wise in your temples, thinking you learn everything. Well, you don't know everything. You should look into blah, blah, blah. I think he was trying to convince me to... He was playing to my pride, making me think I was smarter than him. So looking into the well, looking into these secrets, would be playing to what he wants. And yes, that is what he said to me.
Mm-hmm.
Lead us not into temptation, as it were.
That is entirely true. So should we stay along the glowing mushroom path? And then later, if it proves worth looking into, we come back and see what's actually hidden. If
I
it
would
behooves us.
advise is Miknik almost ready to come back?
Miknik! My darling, when will you be returning to us?
I've been just trying to stall him, get time. That's the main reason I've been going and.
You all are
String
doing
work.
fantastic. Don't stop being beautiful, people. Come on.
Aw, you're not
Don't
so
you
bad
stop.
yourself, friend.
Don't you? Hey, don't you guys stop sashaying this runway, okay?
Hey, is Miknik? I just imagine Miknik still stuffing his face from his pockets.
He will
Is
be
that what
another
you're
few
doing?
minutes.
It seems to me there's a very real possibility that real world interference is going to stop him from truly
No,
rejoining the session.
No, he will be back. It's just another few minutes because the child is still eating.
Well,
This child is
Nick has a piece of his story that I would like him
Okay.
to tell before we go venturing forth.
All right, well, just 5 minutes or less.
No worries. You all still have plenty of things that you can discuss.
I mean, yeah,
Return.
we haven't exactly fallen shy on any of it.
No, because there are so many pieces to still.
Pack so much lore into this. It's impressive. Why aren't you
Thank
writing
you.
a book instead of running sessions?
Because I like D&D.
Well, he's just planning on writing a book on our adventures, El Dragonlance style.
Hey,
I would
maybe.
advise that, to be perfectly frank.
Hey, it would be great if, like, hey, Wizards of the Coast, if you guys ever see this, like, I'm here. I'm available. I'm very unemployed and would love to work for your company.
Moxie.
Uh,
Just in case something goes wrong or such, and before we go too deep into this, since I will need to go and try and bargain for our friend Felgalos down there to stay in the city after all, I should probably try to open the book, but I have no idea if it will still want to after everything and the weight I've more or less given it.
well, your other book did say to open it, didn't it?
Yes, that's why I should do that. I ran in a panic trying to gather everything last time.
I try once more to convince my book to open to see what it lets me see.
If anything.
If
Your
anything,
book.
that's not a terribly good thing.
Okay. What are you going to do to try?
That was more of a charisma check to just see if I could wake it up. Excuse me.
I'm guessing you're just trying to see if the scales happen.
Mm-hmm.
It does. I then do the thing with the spine. Good morning, my friend. Are we well today?
The wrappings, almost as if it's yawning, raise up and then slide over as it continues to unfurl itself.
Oh, I see. We disturbed you while you were sleeping. I'm sorry.
Are we sure it's not a cat?
No, it has scales. It is not a cat.
No, I just mean its general demeanor reminds me of a cat. That's all.
Yes, it in fact reminds me very much of a feline. Now let's see. Son of a fudge. that's a standard. Well,
Are you sure you rolled it?
I'm
Yes,
not
I
entirely
watched it.
sure what I did. That's a 9 to try to read anything new. Unfortunately, unless that's a different kind of check.
What are you going to ask it?
Is there anything new for me to read today? Do you have any wisdom for me?
You feel a pulse go through your body. Do a charisma check for me.
I wonder,
What
can
the?
it listen?
That didn't actually roll. That just threw the die. There we go.
I wonder, can it listen? Has it actually heard what we've been discussing?
It probably has when it's not asleep, because it does in fact sleep. That's not a 15, I'm sorry. That's a 25.
It gives you a new letter that starts to form in the ink as it has the letter A show up, and then it disappears.
Interesting.
That's 4 letters now. But that one went away. Why?
He lives!
Yay!
He's
Welcome back.
dead.
Oh, I thought that was in game.
No.
Well, I'm going to try opening my book.
He lives! Moxie, anything else?
Okay, I am back at long last.
My friend, don't you have a name that I can call you? I can't simply just name you. Surely you must have one. Can you show me?
Roll a charisma check, please.
There we are. Come on, please be. Oh my god. My dice hate me tonight. My dice just hate me tonight.
The twine that binds it together lifts up and goes,
No?
Right back down.
Hmm.
I have heard tell of a way of speaking without letters or speech. Perhaps it's trying to say something with those waves on the cover.
Maybe.
Maybe you can
Anyway.
figure out its method. Like, I don't know.
Would that be a linguistics check?
How cool would it be if the book could talk to you without having to open it?
Hmm.
Like, just basic stuff.
I don't know what that would be under, but that's 12 with an intelligence mod.
You notice that it is saying something.
It's a regular pattern, like Morse code.
Or it's a type of sign language.
It then lifts up and it curls part of the twine and goes down onto the book and touches it, and it writes out
Elenon. Then that is what I shall call you.
I honestly thought it said Eleanor at first.
That would be lovely, wouldn't it? A beautiful purple scaled book named Eleanor.
Well, Elenon is lovely as well.
Yes. Elenon.
So can we have a
What?
recap so Thane knows, and just in case he didn't hear everything?
Mick,
definitely
did you
didn't
hear
hear
the
anything.
conversation? We had some revelations. And honestly, my throat's a little bit sore, so I'd appreciate, and I got a little bit of a headache, so I'd appreciate if someone else could catch him up while I take a drink.
So we have figured out that we need to go to the mother tree to research the red moon, of which at least 2 of us were born under. That would be myself and Kai. And then Hex has his own stake in all of this that we're not sure of. Leon's
He's
book.
on the council.
He's on the council.
He
Or
works
serves
under
the
council.
council, something
Or
like that.
he works under the council, and said that there was a secret passage in the fiction section of the library where something's hidden under the mother tree.
Something the council doesn't want to be known.
So we are now caught between temptation and the straight and narrow.
Because we have had the realization that the herald, what was summoned was not the cinder flame. What we saw was the herald, which is the name that I had in my dream for what was described by Felgalus.
The large black spiny dragon is the
And-
herald.
And confirmed by Felgalus. He called it the herald.
Yes.
He, in my dream, said, "Let it be known my master is here to stay." He spoke to him coming. The Council of Cinders is what caused it to happen. Many dragons were there. Large head came out of the flame. That was the cinder flame, and its head was like the size of a mountain. So the herald is the forerunner of this guy, and this is what made me realize it. He comes before, so what is he doing? He's trying to make a way. He's sending these things to all these towns. Why would he send Shimmerberry specifically? The little one is testing the defenses. They wouldn't send someone to sincerely try and take it down if it's something important. They didn't want to risk it failing, so they sent this joke to probe the defenses, to see what we do, and to take us down later. So we need to find out what they're looking for here before they get the chance. And also warn the council of the fact that the Herald of the Cinder Flame is going to be looking at burning the town.
Something
Mother Tree
wicked
down soon.
this way comes.
By
Yeah.
the twitching of my thumbs. So that
Leon
is
also ran into
Z or Hex.
Oh yes, we all had a vision of Hex.
Now, Mick, would you like to divulge your information?
So I too had a vision not entirely unlike Kai's, except it was in the Cold One's realm. I could not tell why the cold one would not respond to me. But she wouldn't respond to me, either by direct call out from over the balcony on which I stood, nor through the typical means of reaching out to her when I am not in her realm.
A theory
While I
on
was
that.
able to use that method to see her face to face, there was never an inkling of reaction to my callouts to her. I had. Go ahead, Kai.
I have a theory on that one. The monk in my vision was the same way. He did not respond to anything unless I spoke something with clarity, something that I came to understand by observation from the visions that I saw there. And once I had that clarity and spoke to them, the only reaction he gave me was the slightest twitch of the head, one way or the other. And when I approached, I grew frustrated when he didn't answer, and I saw he was bound by chains of darkness that I could not see until I got physically right up next to him. I tried to break them, and they threw me out of the ethereal realm.
I see.
Plane.
Plane.
They threw me out of the astral projection because I'm not in the ethereal plane. I was astral projecting. That's what it is. That's the word, right? That's the thing.
That's the thing. That's the
That's
thing.
the thing. The ethereal plane is a whole different thing. I was astral projecting.
The ethereal plane is the home of the Fae.
Yes.
Over the table knowledge for anyone interested.
So my theory is your frozen lady, chilled lady. I'm so bad with names.
The cold one.
The cold one was also restrained in a similar way because in your past vision you spoke of, wasn't she also taken by the creature with the burning eye?
Before this last vision, she had all of her wits about her. She had full movement, full reaction, and everything. It was only on this most recent vision that she was totally unresponsive to everything. I did not get anywhere near as close as you did. As I said, I was on a balcony when I was in that vision, and I could not tell beyond reasonable doubt that it was definitely the cold one and not her sister. So I was cautious about actually approaching.
Interesting.
There were doorways in that vision, though. I believe you saw the same scrolls on those doorways that I did. When I went through the first one, I saw a vision of the past. I'm quite certain it's the town that we led to dismay. There's
To
4
destruction.
people. The other one was Iron Falls, under active attack. Any time that I tried to interact with any passerby, they moved right through me, so I definitely had no physical presence there.
Can you tell if these were visions of current events or something to come?
I cannot.
Or like mine, a vision of the past.
And I met with the same dark person
Pretty
as
sure he's a demon.
you and Moxie. I did not shake his hand, and probably as a result, I got no answers from him. Besides the fact that his name, according to him, is Hex.
And what did he tell you?
He wanted
did he
to make a
promise you?
deal. He promised me great power.
As was promised to me, though, think you might know me a little bit better than to accept a deal based on that.
You shook
He
his
offered
hand,
me
though.
I shook his hand before I knew what he was giving me.
He offered me wisdom and offered me a drink. I sat with him but did not drink. I made a toast.
I did actually drink.
I did too. And I got this lovely thing on the back of my hand to show for all of it.
Fascinating.
It's not ugly, but
Anything else?
No, not that I can recall.
so what are we going to do? Are we going to follow our friendly lowing friends, the mushrooms, or are we off on a wild goose chase under a massive library tree?
Well, as far as I can tell, both paths probably lead below the library.
Yes.
The council, based on what we discussed here, the Council of Cinders doesn't want the information in the passage Hex mentioned to get out. But if that's the case, why would they burn this down?
To set it free?
Well, they also want to know about... No. We should resist temptation. Hex is an agent of chaos.
Indeed, he probably is.
So, Leon, I think we should go with what your patron deity, whose name escapes me. I have got to get better at that.
Done.
He's not my deity, though. He was the person in my visions.
Is this Dawn like the sunrise or D-O-N? Dawn.
Dawn as in the sunrise.
Okay.
I will be right back.
Far more impressive name.
Brief 2-minute intermission, and I shall return. Continue. You know where my stance is. We follow the mushrooms.
I agree. Let's follow the mushrooms.
Follow
Picnic?
the shrooms?
I don't think they're for eating.
No.
Look at
Now-
Leon. Do you want one of those?
No. No, I do not.
So, what do you do now?
Have you guys already called up
Wait,
Roderick?
We have not called up Roderick. We have not called Roderick. Nor have we called Reginald
We gotta go to you, okay?
or Brittany or the friend of the Roman Emperor, Biggish Dickish. Life of Brian fans out here? No?
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing the appropriate snickering of the guards.
But yes, we haven't called Roderick. We haven't called the gentleman who owns this place. We were actually debating whether we should even let them know because Leon's book said trust no one.
yes, and I
He
was.
lies. He is
Oh,
coming.
yeah. Leon's book. He spoke to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Can we see what he said again? I don't remember them all.
Yeah, no, I got it. Tell me when to move.
Move. Move. Open the book.
I was attempting to do that earlier, right before you dropped in.
Mm-hmm. So that's all the advice that we were given.
Cool.
So
Real fucking cool.
I am hesitant as to whether we're going to ask anyone else for information or try and get it ourselves here.
I believe
We-
outside of these walls we don't discuss.
We
Much.
were discussing having a rest, but I believe time is of the essence if they're already sending probing attacks, probing parties.
Not to mention, our little friend Fogalos already said that they were a few towns over. It's not going to be long for them.
No.
At most, we have 2 days.
So whatever we do, we need to do it quickly. And thankfully, the bar here was kind enough to sober us up as we left.
Yes.
So,
We must make a decision. Do we go and attempt to gain the favor of my mentor and hopefully use his leverage for the council and attempt to gather or ready the militia, etc.? Or do we keep our secrets
I
and
say
give a bare minimum?
I say we warn them of the Herald,
Yes.
but we
That
don't
would
mention
be-
our suspicions. We can
I can
investigate
agree
that
with that.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We warn them of the
And-
Herald and the fact that Felgalos was probably just a probe to see how we reacted.
We
And
must
since that
also
reaction
not
never came, we may in fact have delayed their attack.
I think
We
we
must-
should rest, but not a long rest.
We must not let others know where we're headed once we leave town.
One way or another, I am seriously getting a bad headache, and I think the session needs to stop before we go into there. I'd rather
Mhm.
approach that with a clear head.
Yeah.
I have been working since like early. I know we've only been going a
Ending
couple hours.
already?
I know we've only been going a couple hours, but this promises to be just a big thing, and I'd rather approach it with a clear head.
Maybe we can continue tomorrow. I say maybe. I'm not going to say one way or the other.
We have filming tomorrow.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm saying maybe.
I don't know.
Who knows? It would be to see how the day goes tomorrow. If we get all our filming and all that done.
I mean, I could go longer. It's just we keep having these interruptions, losing characters,
Mhm.
and it's getting drawn out and drawn out and drawn out. And
Well, you all can go right now if you want to. I mean, she can always drop back in. Or we can pick up tomorrow when you all get done at a later time, maybe around the same time, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Mm,
It's going to depend on how we feel after filming.
yeah, that's normally a pretty involved process.
Yeah. I don't mind if we want to stop, but I also don't mind if we wish to continue and at least get to the council. See how that goes and see about getting Felgaros to stay here.
I mean, we can move on. Sitting around talking, kinda, I think, has run its course.
Let's
Yeah,
go to
so-
the council, then we
When-
rest, and then we head out in the morning. Although, to be honest with you, I'm not quite sure what to say to the council, but
I don't think we should rest. If we do anything, it should be as soon as possible. Besides, we just rested at the bar.
That was quite the rest. A whole half hour.
You're
yeah.
telling me you need more than a half hour of sleep.
To be fair,
Right.
you both were drunk while
Oh.
asleep.
Also, over table, if tomorrow doesn't work, we can always try for Sunday.
What is Sunday?
That'd be
Live stream day. I don't think we have any filming though.
Oh,
So-
we do have stream on Sunday, but we don't. My calendar is all screwy. Hang on a minute, I gotta go to my email. I'm sorry. This is supposed to be a simple thing.
I'll say this: I'm
Friday,
having plenty
Saturday,
of fun.
Oh, I am
Uh,
also
So
having
it's
fun.
a blast.
Oh yeah, I was just saying I'm having plenty of fun.
That
Oh,
surge of a
Hey, look. Tonight is this. You all have literally not even, like, turned the pit. There's so much it's about. And it just. And I
He's really just wanting us. He's like, "Ah, open the darn gates already."
You all.
I'm telling you, you should write it down. Okay, no, we don't have anything planned for Sunday, so we could reconvene Sunday
Yeah.
after the stream.
Or we
Yeah.
could do it as the stream. It would be.
Are you telling me you would forego Halo for this?
Yes.
I've done my job, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
You are a
deserve
better
this.
DM
No,
than
please.
OG Bungie.
Please, no. Bungie, no. I'm sorry. I will take that. I will take that. Thank you so much.
OG Bungie.
I would just
OG.
like to thank
I'm sorry.
my mom and dad.
Can you grab a PNG of an Oscar and just slide it in there for him? Wait, no, Oscars are copyrighted. You need something else.
That's right.
A Fosker.
I'm
Damn,
sorry.
man.
I'm just. wanting
You
to see
just
how
got
it
like
turns out.
major accolades here. You are
realize
a
this is like a
better
months-long
storyteller
thing, right?
than OG Bungie.
Man, he's
I've
not
done
even
my
telling
job,
the story
everybody.
right now. He's just set
Good
up a
night.
situation.
I know. I just want to know what happens. I just want to see what happens. That's
You
all.
all have no idea. Like, see, I love when you all get into your and this is why D&D sessions can go on for so long, is because you get into these talks and everything, and then you start having these these revelations, and then there's about to be so much that's about to happen. You all have
Yeah,
no idea.
that
No idea.
Eureka moment, that Sherlock Holmes moment of clarity that I had there was just
Blast.
brain blast.
Recent food theory? Film theory?
Oh, about the Grubhub
Yeah.
lore.
Was that food or film?
That's food theory, but I've not seen that yet.
Well, either way.
Yeah, it was food theory. Kind of film theory territory.
Exactly. That's my confusion.
Anyway,
Oh, they're done by the same guy. So
Mhm.
Exactly. Same group.
yeah.
Man, he's got quite the team too.
Yeah, he's got quite a
Oh, yeah.
large team.
Oh yeah. That's what happens when you've got over 10 million some odd
Yeah.
subscribers.
And at least 16 editors.
I'd be happy for 2.
Hey.
We'll get there someday. Someday.
I'm not gonna throw shade on a live stream. Don't worry, Neb.
So, do you all wish to continue for now to get to a certain point and then reconvene Sunday?
I'll be honest with you. I want to continue, but this headache is just getting worse.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should go ahead and
We'll
just
call it
call
off
it
then.
and immediately pick up with leaving this tower come
Yeah.
Sunday,
We're at a
at
good stopping point. We have
2
discussed
p.m.
every-
Eastern time.
Maybe offline we can cement where we're going with this.
Yeah,
Yep.
use the in-character chat.
'Cause
Oh,
I've
Izzy's back.
lost bits of the last 5 minutes.
Tull has migraine levels of headache. We're
Ooh.
going to end things here for tonight. Pick up Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
Although I really do want to play. Halo.
However, before we do that, to leave you all with a little taste, as you all have been talking, you hear below the sound of a door opening and multiple footsteps coming in and closing, and you see the wizard open the door to where you all are, and he says, "Well, it would appear as if the council is here to speak with you all."
Which one?
The Council of Shimmerberry, the keepers of the library,
Very well.
All of them?
all of them.
Oh, joy.
We'll be right down.
Yes, we will.
Yes. Finally answers.
And thank you everyone on Twitch for watching, YouTube as well, watching the recast of this. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Go yell at Comcast on Twitter. We will be back on Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, with the rest of Part Night 4. Have a good night, everyone.
Yes.
Good night, everybody.